Hello there, my name's John and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, then at this channel we do everything DaVinci Resolve. But in this video I want to do a walkthrough of a workflow integration plugin for expressions that I've built, and you'll be able to get this from my Ko-fi page. So we're just going to do a walkthrough. If you're wondering why I'm leaning this way a bit, it's because there's a light switch there and it's really annoying me. So let's just dive in. I'm here to start with on my Ko-fi page. And if you come to the Ko-fi page, all the links are in the description. And then just head to the shop. You'll see we've got lots of free things in here. So lots and lots of free things to download. But we're doing the introductory offer of this DaVinci Resolve Studio. And it's an expression builder. And it's in beta at the moment. And anybody who buys it now at this introductory price will get free updates as we add features moving forward. Then you'll automatically get a link to download the update. All you do at the moment, you can put £5 or more in there and just click buy now, and then you can download the zip folder. And let's have a look at what's in there. Once you've downloaded the zip folder, you're going to get it like this as an expression builder. What I recommend first of all is to unzip this file. So I'm going to strip it, unzip it. Things annoying me again then. And now we've got this folder here. Now inside this folder you've got quite a few options for installation. First of all, we'll have a look at the PDF installation instructions. This opens a PDF that just explains that what we've got inside the folder, which we've just opened, so we've seen that, haven't we? And also how you can use the window installation, so that's just next finish, which I'll show you very shortly. However, I only run on Windows, I don't have a Mac, so if you're a Mac user then you need to pop it into the workflow integration plugins, and you need to put in the expressions folder, not everything we've got here. So if you are a Mac user, then this expressions folder up here, then you want to put this folder inside the DaVinci Resolve support folder, where that link is inside that PDF. Now what you can do as well, if you're on Windows, you could just drag that into the same folder on your Windows machine. But for a Windows user, what you can do is just double click on this exe file, and then it's going to install it in the location. And I've done this because not everybody can jump straight into the location, and this is the location. It's going into your program data, Blackmagic, DaVinci Resolve and support. What it's going to do is put this in the correct folder. So just click install, and then if we look at the details, it's extracted the file and it's put it into the correct folder. What we can do now is open DaVinci Resolve and have a look round. Here we are inside DaVinci Resolve. I brought in a few nodes and also this macro information. And as you can see in the inspector, we've got lots and lots of expressions in here. This is all the curves out of anim curves. And I'm sure you know, when you add an expression into a tool, then we just get this little box here, one line high. And when we start writing really long expressions, if you miss out a parentheses or a comma, then you have a bit of a problem and it makes it difficult. What we tend to do is we'll probably come out into VS Code or our code editor. We'll type it out in our code editor and then we'll bring it back in. With our new workflow integration, we can do that without leaving DaVinci Resolve. To activate the workflow integration, we just come to Workspace, down to Workflow Integrations at the bottom, and here we have expressions. By selecting that, it's going to open our plugin, and I'm going to walk through the plugin. But one thing you will notice is my DaVinci Resolve at the moment isn't full screen. This floating window, you can put it on another monitor if you wish, then it's not locked to be over the top. So if I click somewhere out here, it will go in the background. Now this is actually a security feature of your operating system, and it's designed that if there was a big full screen pop-up advert that could always stay on top, then you couldn't get access to your computer. So the natural security of all the computers out there, whether it be Mac or Windows, is to put it in the background because we want to put the DaVinci Resolve back into focus. Now, if you're not full screen, you can come down to this little Electron icon because it's all built on Electron, which is integrated into DaVinci Resolve. We give it a click and we've got it back on top. If, however, you are full screen, then what you can do is use the keyboard shortcut, which is Alt or Option and Tab on your keyboard, and then we can just bring it back to the front. We're looking into this in the future, but we've got to get deeper access into the operating system to keep it on top, and we may need to purchase a certificate. So I wanted to get this out there so you could use it, play with it, give me some feedback. What we got here is the expression builder, and first of all you'll notice that this box is a lot bigger than this box down here. In fact, if we come into this text node and we come to size, expression, we've just got this one small line here. Bring it back to the front. What I'm going to do is type my expression in here. I've typed my expression out. This can be your own unique expression. You can play with it to build the expression up. What I recommend is to build your composition if you're using expressions with the original node names. Make your expression, which you can then save for later use, which I'll show you very shortly. And then just before you make the macro, rename your nodes, your naming convention. And then that way, when you rename the nodes, it will update all the expressions in your current composition. But then you've got these expressions stored for future use, or you can send them to a friend and they don't have to worry about building the expression. At the moment, what we're going to do is highlight this, and we're going to use the keyboard shortcut Control and C or Command and C on a Mac, and then we're going to come over to our expression and do Command and V or Control and V to drop it inside our expression box. And then now we've got our expression on the size of the text, which is a curve back expression, so it just comes forward and then goes back. Now we've got our expression, we've got it all set up. We may want to use this in the future, so we can save it to our computer. Just down here we've got a little box where you'll put the name of the file you're going to make, and then you need to put the extension. And the reason you need to put the extension is because you can have a text file, a .setting file, or a .comp file. You can use this in Blackmagic Fusion Studio 18 standalone, as well as using it in DaVinci Resolve. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a name, and in this case I'm just going to give it a .text extension. We can then save our expression out, and like all good tutorials, we're going to save it on the desktop. Just dropped this bit in because I forgot to show you, you can also bring the files back in. So we can just click on a file and we can go to the desktop and we can bring that expression back into DaVinci Resolve, and then we can use it again and again. What we can also do is bring in a setting or a comp file. So if we go and grab a setting file, what you'll see is it brings the whole macro in. So if you do need to edit a macro, not ideal for editing macros because it's quite large, this would be better in Visual Studio Code, but if you do need to do a quick edit inside a macro, you can bring a macro in and you could edit the macro in here as well. So that's it, let's get back to the video. Also built into our expression builder is our glossary, so we can come in here to the expressions glossary, and it is an extensive glossary. There are hundreds of expressions in here, and we start off with some basic expressions just to get you into all the different expressions. So for example, ABS converts a negative number to a positive number, and then we've got different options. So here you've got that time returns the current frame, but if you multiply time by 3 it's going to speed things up, or divide it by 3 will slow it down. Negative time is going to give you the negative frame, and then we can also get the value of previous frames. Now I'm not going to go through all these because if I just scroll through you can see there are hundreds of these in here, and you can use these to build and create your own expressions moving forward. And then once you've designed your own expression for your comp, you can then save it out as your own file. As you can see, as I scroll through, there are lots and lots in here. We've got different things of how to take, for example, a text and repeat it 3 times. We can put it in reverse. We can make it all lowercase. We can make it all uppercase. We can take the first and the second letter out. In fact, if you have this as a negative number, it comes from the right, so it'll take the last letter out. So lots and lots of information in here. and we go all the way through. I'll speed up a little bit. What we got here, these are all the things that can go. For example, if you want to use the operating system date, we've got the OS date X. Now the small x is going to give us the date as in this format, but you've got all these other formats here as well. We then got how to open a file or a browser with a web file in it, whether it's local or it's actually on the internet. And then we go into some more information, how to get information from a node with the self command. So here we can get the value from the node itself. We can also have a look at toggling when you're doing switches, etc. But lots and lots of information here. All the math functions are in here. And then when we get down the bottom, we've got all the easing functions. So that's in there. So if you're just learning about expressions, you can have a dabble, you can have a play, you can adapt these that are in here for your own use. I've also added some hints and tips. For example, what you can do inside the parameter. So we've actually got here on the size parameter the zeros. What we can do is, in fact, if we get rid of that expression in here, we'll just come in here and press the equals key and enter, and that will give me that expression box as well. Expression tools use IDs. So if we hover over, in fact, let's go to full screen. If I hover over one of these, you'll see in the bottom left that you've got the ID, which isn't always the same as the control. So that's the right on control, but we've got text 1, start and end is the right on control. Also here we've got some information that just explains that creating an instance of a node is far more efficient than connecting nodes together using expressions. So if you've got two text nodes and you want to link them together, it's actually best to use an instance and then just de-instance the tools or the controls inside that tool that you want to be different. That is a huge saving on your cache, and when it renders a lot faster. Also modifiers, for example, if you use a calculation on this size in here, then the end user has still got access to change the size as well as the expression operating that size. Then down here I've just put some links in. So here we've got the VXpedia link. What I've done it so it opens in a separate window, and that way you can move it off to one side if you're going to work in the expression builder. And you can just close it like that. Then we've got information with Brian Ray's book, and inside Brian Ray blog post, lots of information about expressions. The Jackal, we've got his expression cheat sheet in here, and Noah, absolute superstar Noah, some really unusual expression explanations in here. Also how to make Fusion more responsive when you're building a composition by using expressions to turn off high quality and motion blur, etc. Billy Ripker just launching his Inner Circle, so I've added this too, so you can sign up for the Inner Circle, which is where you'll get lots of information to help you develop inside DaVinci Resolve. And then just here will take us back to the builder. There we go, an overview of the workflow integration plugin, the expression builder for DaVinci Resolve Studio, and you're able to get that from the Ko-fi store today. Thank you for watching.